have you seen the change from, the early 2000s to now when it comes to hate or hate mail or people disagreeing with something you've said?
You know what? In a way, I've actually, the more flack I've copped, and it's really only the last few years that I have copped that much, to be honest, but in a way, it's actually probably toughened me up to it. I remember back in the day where the only way you could really cop negative feedback was like a letter to the editor in the paper, So it was like, I remember once doing radio, and we had a guy coming in helping us out doing comedy, on the show, on the radio, breakfast radio show. This is years ago, and he walked in halfway through the radio show to say good day or whatever, do his segment. He goes, "All right, what about what they said about you in the paper today, Hughesy?" And I'm like, "What did they say?" And then I realised that the section of the paper, I think the TV guy or the radio guy, had been taken out of the newspaper in case they didn't want me to see it. And I'm like, what did they say? And why have you taken this out of the paper? Because I knew how sensitive I was. And then I found out what they'd said, and they'd said that I was shit or something, or that I was shit on TV or something like that. And I was fuming. But now I can get 50 of those comments a day online. I don't give a shit,
it's all been said. It's all been said. Like, you've heard everything.
I've heard
Who
it
cares?
all. I mean, you don't like it, but you've heard it so many times. It's like, whatever, So it's like, yeah.
Man, I had a particular one with a joke about the Christchurch massacre, and I had 80,000 messages on Instagram. Like angry messages, 80,000. It was insane. And I was thankfully we were in lockdown at the time, so I was able to just keep my head down for a bit, and it blew over. But man, people were calling for my head. They wanted me. They were saying all these horrible things about my kids. I don't have any kids, but they're saying all these things. They're going to skin my dogs alive, and people lose it. They lose it.
They lose it. People they're looking to vent. They are looking for avenues to vent. People, and generally when you get abused, it says much more about the person who abuses you than it does about you. And no one's perfect, and we all say things that we take back sometimes. But yeah, the level of vitriol is just ridiculous. And again, mate, I've just had, as you know, when you see my name trending, your name's never trending for people being positive about you. I can tell you. So
no,
it's
absolutely.
always about piling on.
But I think on the people that would send those messages, like, could you imagine yourself or someone you're friends with sending someone a death threat? Like, it would never happen. Like, you wouldn't hang around with that bloke or that lady if that's what they were up to.
It is wonder, but sometimes you do look at them and think they're like they're teachers or they're like. Yeah, and in the past I have, like, I very rarely can be bothered now, but I have in the past just messaged someone saying, "Mate, you're a school teacher. I mean, you have a look what you've written there. That's like you're looking after the minds of the children of this country. Come on, buddy. I mean, yeah, you could get people fired pretty quick if you just screenshot it and just send it to their school. So yeah, I don't know what goes on that. There are obviously people that are just angry for whatever reason."